depending where you are. If you're just like myself, somewhere around California, then probably for you it's just about midday. But if you're in the UK, probably it's about nighttime. Anyways, I'm going live, not at the usual time, I should say, as you might notice, but the reason is because I'm right now traveling. Well, some of you probably were following the travels which my awesome and fabulous husband organized for me for my birthday. Everything was birthday surprise. I had no clue where we were going. And even today, we woke up at this beautiful, gorgeous place somewhere in the mountains. And I honestly don't know where we are heading today. So the whole 2 weeks trip is a massive surprise. But anyways, today is not about my birthday. Today is actually about the questions which you have sent to me. And if you remember last session, which we have had, was there was a question asked by Valeria, and that was about how to handle the critique voice that sometimes attacks you. Okay, we all have it. We all sometimes face it. Let's put it this way: everybody had that critique voice in our heads. So, what do we do about that? Well, first of all, dear Valeria, thank you so much for asking this question right at the end of Q&A last month with me on LinkedIn. I appreciate that, and thank you those who are sending me the questions privately. Both ways are fine with me because I will answer them anyways. So let's go to your question, Valeria, right now. So, how to handle the critique voice? Well, first of all, remember that you are, and only you are, in charge of what voices you have here in your mind. Okay? Of course, you will have critique voice by default because that's something that you were programmed to have. That's something that you were habitually hearing from other people that became your normal, right? So what you got to do is to actually practice your new normal, okay? So if you notice, it is your critique voice instead of your mind, majority of the time, ask yourself, what would I like to have instead? I have the choice, I have the power to choose any other voice. So, what voice do I choose to have? Is it supportive? Is it praising? Is it a wise voice? What voice do you choose to hear in your mind? Okay. And every single time when you hear there is a critique voice, give that voice a name. Is it your mom's voice? Is it your grandma's voice? Is it your neighbor's voice? So detach yourself from that critique voice, okay? Make it not yours. Because the truth is, it is not yours. It is somebody else's voice which was in your mind, okay, for all these years because you heard it for too long, okay? So make a new habit hearing the positive voice. Name that voice if you choose, okay? The wiser self of Valeria, right? The Valeria who is positive, the voice of smart Valeria, whatever you want to call it, choose it. Okay, you are the one who is in charge of your voice, whether it is critique voice, whether it is supportive voice, the choice is yours. Okay, so I hope it answers your question. I hope it will help you. But remember, you are in charge, you are in control, and the voices we have in our heads, these are not our voices. Okay, so once you recognize this is not your voice, you can replace it. But here's the warning and disclaimer: it will take more than one day, it will take more than 1 week, and that is okay. Okay, whenever you become aware that that old critique voice comes back, give yourself a pat on the shoulder and say, well done for recognizing. Remember, when you are aware, that is the first step towards true transformation. Okay? Every single time you're aware there was another critique voice in your head, pat yourself on the shoulder, say, well done for recognizing. And now I choose to have the voice of wise Valeria. Now I have to choose the one who is smart voice. Okay? Whichever works for you. Okay? So I hope that was helpful and I hope that will serve you. Let's go to the second question. Second question I received was, but actually I will receive just from my husband. Let me just see if there's any comments under these or any messages or anything like that. No, I cannot see anything, but again, I must tell you that sometimes it's quite tricky to see. Okay, I hope you can hear me now. There we go. Please send me some thumbs up if you can hear me, and if you can, for some reason, I had a little drop here. Anyways, I hope you can hear me now. And I hope you can see me now. So, anyways, let's go to the second question. Second question was actually about the videos with my dear husband. I love your videos with your husband. They are so authentic and fun to watch and learn from. Are you going to do more of them? Yes. The very short answer to this question is yes, we are going to do more of these videos. And the reason why we're planning to do more of these, because, well, first of all, we enjoy doing them. Okay, we really love sharing value. We really love sharing our adventures, our lessons, our journey when it comes to relationships. And the reason why, because we both went through such a roller coaster of relationships on both sides, right? And we still learn, we still discover things about each other and ourselves. So we decided to actually share our wisdom. And we're not saying we're the smartest people in the world when it comes to relationships, but we decided to share what we learned with other people, with other single people who would like to be in relationships, with other couples who would like to be in a healthy, connected, authentic relationship. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to join us and watch those videos. The one thing you should remember, we will never announce in advance when we are going live. It's going to be always spontaneous. We will always in different locations, but you can always watch these videos on replay. And the reason why we're not doing that as a pre-scheduled, as an agenda, because we want to have freedom. We don't want to have an agenda. We don't want to have, something that we have to follow. We don't want to make it as a burden. We want it to be fun to watch, and we want it to be fun to make. Okay, so that's the reason why we don't announce when we're going to go live. It will be definitely happening on weekends because these are the times where we're most likely together, but also it will be at the times when we both can do it. Okay, so, but yes, answer your question, we will continue doing that, and there's even more coming. We actually are planning to write a book together. We're also planning to do events at some point together on relationships, but this is in the pipeline, it's still in the progress. So stay tuned in, check out those videos, learn, connect with us, follow us, and obviously eventually you'll find out even more information. So I'll go to question number 3, which I have here. How do you follow your self-care, great question, self-care routine when you travel? Well, some of you might not like the answer, but I'll be completely transparent and honest with you, okay? So how do I follow my self-care routine when I travel? The very honest answer is I just see how it goes, right? I love meditating, I love my walks, I love my full self-care routine, which is obviously taking care of myself and my body, healthy eating, hydrating, all of that. But guess what? When you travel, things must be fluid. Things become adventurous and spontaneous. Okay, so of course, when I am somewhere in a static location, like for example back home in UK, then of course I would wake up and I would probably meditate, or I would wake up, I would go for a walk, then I will meditate, right? Or I would wake up, do my yoga, then meditate. So it's more or less the same. When we travel, or when I travel by myself, then I do make sure I do what feels good for me. So if sometimes I don't feel like doing yoga, I don't do yoga. If sometimes I don't feel like I don't want to meditate, I don't meditate. I don't make my self care routine as a routine, as a burden anymore. I used to. And that's why I even refuse to call it as a routine, because routine is boring. Okay. A ritual always sounds more spiritual, more fluid, more spontaneous. Okay, so I actually replaced a ritual with the routine with a ritual. Okay, self care ritual, and whatever feels good, I do that. I listen to my intuition. One thing unchangeable, doesn't matter where I am in the world, is listening to my intuition. I always listen to my intuition, and I do what my intuition says. So sometimes I would walk on the beach, and my intuition would tell me meditate now. Guess what? I would just drop right there, right that place, sit down, and I would meditate, right? Or sometimes it would be like, okay, once you're back, have a nap. And I know there's a reason for that, and I would have a nap, okay? So one thing is absolutely unchangeable, non-negotiable. I can't ignore that is my intuition, right? So sometimes self-care rituals or routine, if you wish, can be changed, but listening to my intuition and messages which I receive is not changeable at all. So I hope that answers your question. And Trust me, when you travel, you don't want to be in a cage of what you think is good for you. You got to feel, right? You got not only when you travel, actually, in your entire life, you got to feel what's good for you, right? Sometimes you think it's good to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but guess what? Maybe your body is just tired and wants to sleep. Sometimes you think maybe it's good for you to eat that, but when you ask your body, it's not true. Okay, so you got to ask, what do you feel like doing, and follow the guidance of the feelings. Okay, don't beat yourself if you don't do your routine or rituals, if you want to choose my words, right? Sometimes don't beat yourself. This is the worst thing you can do for yourself. Beat yourself up for not doing your self-care rituals. Okay, so do what feels right for you. That's the most important. And I have time for just one more question, uh, which is I thought it was more personal, but I picked to still answer that because I think quite a few people were asking that. So probably there's a reason why people want to know that. So the question was, have you changed your name after the marriage? So I did change my surname. However, as you noticed, professionally, I did not. And the reason why, because my new surname is beautiful and I like it. It is Geidane Sanchez Garcia. But as you can imagine, in a professional world, to change everything is just way too much. So my stage name is still Olga Geidane, but my personal real name is Olga Geidane Sanchez Garcia. So that's answering your question. I mean, that was my personal question which I received, but I thought since many people were asking that on a regular basis, especially when I would go somewhere in person events, people would ask me, "Oh, you got married, so have you changed the name?" So it became almost like a thing. So I thought, let me just clarify that and mention that here so then everybody knows, yes, I did, but not professionally. Professionally, I'm still Olga Geidane. And sometimes I do make a joke when uh, MC is just about to go and announce me on the stage. They ask me, how do you pronounce your name? And I always say, well, it's very easy. It's Olga Geidane. If you can't say Olga Geidane, then feel free to say Olga Geidane Sanchez Garcia. And you should see their eyes because for them it's like, oh no, that's impossible, right? So that just answering your question. I hope it helps. Well, I'm not sure how it will help, but you asked me this question, so I'm just answering that. Anyways, I will leave it here. 4 questions asked. Please send me your questions if you want to. I would really appreciate these questions a little bit more about you rather about me, because why would we speak about me? But if you want to know some more stuff about me, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. But here at these sessions, I'm actually willing to answer your questions, as many as we possibly can. And I will check whatever comments you will post below this, and I'll answer those questions which you're posting today first, next time I'll go live. And I'll make sure I announce about this in advance. Today it was very random because hours difference with UK. We are 9 hours different with Europe, and actually with my mom. Right now we are exactly 7 hours, I believe so, difference, which is absolutely crazy. But anyways, here we go. Q&A with myself is done. Thank you so much to those who were watching me today. This is a beautiful place, and guess what? We will go and explore it. Before I finish, I'm more than happy to share with you where we are. I need to find out exactly where we are, but it's a beautiful place. It's like in a chalet, and behind the building, which you can't see, there is a lake, which is beautiful. Went for a walk today, and I just felt so inspired by this location that I thought, you know what? Even though it's not on time, even though it's way, way, way too late to do the live, because usually, I do it at 1 p.m. UK time, I thought, let me just still do it because I'm sure this answers all. Anyways, I'll wish you a wonderful day, wherever you are, or a good night if you're just about to sleep. But we are actually going to explore and enjoy this gorgeous day. Look, there's not even one single cloud in the sky, which is a green light from the to enjoy it. And we'll see you next time. Whatever you do, remember, feel what your intuition tells you to do. Follow your intuition. Much love, big hugs, and